The Latin Mass is not simply a beautiful ceremony. It is not a matter of taste, language, or culture. It is the very heart of Catholic worship, the eternal sacrifice of Christ, made present on the altar, veiled in mystery, offered in silence, handed down through centuries. It is heaven touching earth. For nearly 2,000 years, saints and sinners alike knelt at this holy altar. From Roman catacombs to Gothic cathedrals, the Mass was the one unchanging anchor of the faith. Every martyr, every missionary, every religious drew strength from this. The Latin Mass shaped nations and converted continents because it brought souls to Calvary. But in our time, this sacred treasure has been forgotten by many and even restricted by some. What was once considered the most perfect form of worship is now viewed as outdated or divisive. And yet, more than ever, the world needs the silence, the reverence, the sacrifice of the Latin Mass. In this video, you'll discover not only why it matters, but how you're called to live it every day. In many churches today, the altar has become a table. The priest now faces the people, and the focus is often on fellowship rather than worship. Sacred music has been replaced by entertainment, silence by chatter, and mystery by spontaneity. The awe that once defined the Mass is vanishing. The faithful no longer recognize what is before them. Where once souls trembled at the foot of the cross, many now see only a communal gathering. The Mass is spoken of as a celebration, but not as a sacrifice. And when this shift happens, the heart of Catholic worship is hollowed out. The liturgy becomes about us, our preferences, our feelings, our performance. Reverence is mocked, tradition dismissed, and silence feared. But without sacrifice, there is no worship. And when worship becomes man-centered, the divine is forgotten. The Baltimore Catechism teaches, the Mass is the unbloody sacrifice of the body and blood of Christ. It is not merely a memorial or a symbol. The same Jesus who died on Calvary is truly offered on the altar in a mystical, sacramental way. As the Roman Catechism teaches, that same Christ who once offered himself on the cross is offered anew on our altars. The priest stands before God, not as himself, but as Christ. Through his hands, the eternal sacrifice is made present again. In the Latin Mass, this truth is visible and tangible. Every gesture, every prayer, every silence reinforces the reality that heaven opens, angels kneel, and the divine victim is offered for our salvation. This is no ordinary prayer. This is the offering of the Son to the Father. The Latin Mass safeguards truths that modern man has forgotten, that God is holy, that man is small, that sin is real, and that sacrifice is the only acceptable offering to divine justice. In its structure and silence, the soul is drawn into sacred fear and love. Latin, a sacred language, protects the prayers from casual distortion. The rubrics restrain the priest from injecting personality into sacred action, and the silence, profound and deliberate, allows space for the soul to tremble before the mystery. This liturgy was formed not in boardrooms, but in the blood of martyrs and the wisdom of saints. It was handed down, not invented. And in guarding the sacred, the Latin Mass teaches us to offer not just words, but our hearts, united to Christ. St. Leonard of Port Maurice said, "The entire Church cannot render to God a greater act of praise and thanksgiving than a single Mass." He preached tirelessly about the value of the holy sacrifice, converting souls by leading them to the altar. St. Alphonsus Liguori, Doctor of the Church, taught, "One holy Mass gives more glory to God than all the sufferings of the martyrs, all the prayers of the saints, and all the penances of the Desert Fathers." For him, to kneel before the tabernacle was to kneel at the foot of the cross. The saints did not go to Mass to be entertained. They went to offer themselves with Christ. Their devotion transformed them into living sacrifices. The more they lived the Mass, the more they became like the one offered in it. When the Mass is treated as ordinary, the sacred is lost. Reverence fades. Vocations disappear. The tabernacle becomes neglected, and souls grow lukewarm. Today, studies show that over 70% of Catholics no longer believe in the real presence. They see bread, not God, because the manner of worship has taught them this error, silently and consistently. When the altar becomes a stage, the priest becomes a performer. When sacred silence is replaced by noise, the mystery vanishes. And when the Mass no longer feels like Calvary, people stop believing it is. The Latin Mass is not just something you attend, it is something you carry. Every moment of your life can become a sacrifice. Your sufferings, your duties, your silence, your prayer, all can be united to the altar. Make your home an extension of the sanctuary. Let the prayers of the Church echo through your family life. When the rosary becomes regular, when penance becomes normal, you are living the liturgy. The soul that adores becomes transformed. Just as the host is lifted on the altar, so must your heart be lifted in surrender. Saints are not made only in monasteries, they are made wherever the Mass is lived. The Mass is not a relic, it is the heartbeat of the Church. It is the most powerful force on earth, the cross made present. If we return to it with faith and sacrifice, it will renew the world. God is raising souls who will live the Mass, not just attend it. He is calling you to offer your life hidden, silent, sacrificial, just like the liturgy itself. You were made to be a living host. Subscribe to Excerpta Catechismi, learn the faith, live the Mass, and let the fire of the holy sacrifice transform you, and through you, renew the world.